We got weights and fish.
There we go.
I really didn't want to have to make a video about the walleye cheaters. I like to keep things positive on this channel, and I didn't want to continue to pontificate about this absolutely sickening situation. But as new information comes from this whole situation, especially through the grapevine in Ohio, where I live, I just felt I needed to update you guys. And I also just felt that the more that this is shared, the less cheaters we are going to have in tournaments, which is a positive thing. As many of you guys know, Jake Runyon and Chase Kaminsky were caught with several 12-ounce weights, as well as fish fillets and other items that were stuffed inside their walleye in a big walleye tournament on Lake Erie here in Ohio. And it just makes me so angry and just so sick feeling, especially for the guys that fish tournaments against these jokers, you know, especially the guys that got second place to these jokers in these tournaments. Now, a couple bits of new information that I am hearing is about these guys in general, and also about what they could possibly face in court. Jake Runyon, the guy who is just sitting there emotionless with no words to say while guys are rightfully so cussing him out in this tournament, is actually already scheduled to be in court in November for a different crime that he committed. He currently is facing domestic violence charges, and he has a restraining order against him. The victim of this domestic violence has placed a restraining order against him. So this is just not a good individual. He's not a decent human being. And we've already heard a lot about Chase Kaminsky being caught several times, it sounds like, for poaching. I do think it's important to know that these are just bad dudes in general. I don't think cheating is running rampant through fishing tournaments, whether you bass fish, walleye fish, crappie fish, catfish, whatever tournament. I don't think that it's happening all over the place. I think that if there are bad dudes fishing in those tournaments though, those might be the guys that are cheating. Now, I think another thing that a lot of anglers want to know is, what are these guys going to go down for? What kind of fines are they going to get? What kind of time are they possibly going to serve? Now, I actually spoke to a friend of mine who is a lawyer, and although he doesn't specialize in the criminal side of things, he did make it clear to me that everyone is innocent until proven guilty in court. And another lawyer that I actually heard too said that these guys could go down for what they call theft by deception. So with that being said, I think we all see the evidence there that they cheated in this particular tournament, which they would have won $45,000. And that's a very special number to remember, 45,000, because depending on the amount of money that you are trying to steal is going to dictate how much time that you could potentially serve or the fines that you might have to pay. Now, according to Ohio, I have it pulled up right here, if the amount that they are trying to steal is between $7,500 and $150,000, this is considered a fourth-degree felony, punishable by 6 to 18 months in prison and or a fine up to $5,000. Now, as we know, these guys have won $306,000 in just the last year. But I think it's going to be pretty hard to prove in court that they were guilty for all these past tournaments. I mean, they're done, they're gone. They took lie detector tests, some that they failed, some that they passed. So with that being said, on the criminal side of things, up to $5,000 may be all that they have to pay. And in my mind, that just doesn't seem right. If they have stolen this much money, it just doesn't seem right. Now, you also have the civil side of things. And on the civil side is where hopefully this could get really ugly for these guys, because these jokers represented a lot of different brands. They had a lot of sponsors, and they fished for a tournament organization. And these companies that sponsored them, the tournament organization, they could all sue these dudes, you know. And for example, Ranger Boats, you know, if Ranger Boats, you see it on Jake Runyon's jersey there, and you know, if Ranger Boats thinks, hey, we maybe lost out on a $500,000 in revenue because of our name being associated with this guy, then they could possibly be sued for that $500,000. But again, I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, and I studied like one law course in college. But I do encourage, if you have more information on the law side of things, to comment them down below. And I really hope from all this that if there's any cheating going on in other tournaments, that it stops or that you get caught. That's all. I'll see you guys in the next video.